Hi guys, I hope you're well. So I'm doing right now a reading that's actually a complement to another reading I did. I think it was yesterday. I haven't published it yet. It's about Putin's, or Putin, doesn't matter, Putin's ideas and his plans for California. Now this is a little bit of like an off thing that happened when I was doing the reading. Well, how did it start? I'm trying to think here. I think it was the reading on general methods. There was another one. Guys, so many readings, several of them, sometimes a day. I just know that it popped up. Oh, this is it. Okay, the whole thing started with the reading on the meeting that Trump's supposed to have with Putin. Okay, pretty soon, or he wants to have with Putin, and what Putin is going to demand. And when I closed my eyes, I saw that he wanted something in California. And then I saw something about General Mathis on the reading, and then I did the reading on General Mathis, which showed that the moment when Trump asks something on behalf of Putin, asks something of General Mathis, that's when he alerts the government in general. Okay, so yesterday I did a reading on expanding on this infrastructure, the goal for the either a base or some sort of research center or like a physical building, a physical space in California, okay? And other people, after I had done the reading on General Mathis, because as I've said, the reading I did on Putin's interest in California is not public yet, part one. And so, anyway, so after I did the reading on General Mathis and mentioned California, someone left a message and said, I live in California. I'm interested. I want to know about the whole California Calexit, it's called. Okay, so if you recall, Rachel Maddow had this segment on what was happening in California a while back. I don't know, 6 months ago. I don't remember exactly when, guys. This was a while back. That there was this guy, American guy, who's living in Russia somewhere, and he, created this whole California Secession thing and all that. So that's part one, okay. And now this thing came back, all right. This whole thing with the Russia, like it's gone on the ballot, okay. It's called, I guess, California Secession, separation, and it's very, the whole thing with the Catalonia and like Putin wants separation. Obviously, divide and conquer is simple, but I think there's a strategic interest in this whole thing. And not only that, several people, and I've said before, in Silicon Valley, the ones that clearly are in with the whole like Russia plan, like Peter Thiel and this guy Tim Draper. I guess there must be other people, but basically they support this, which is obviously a huge red flag. Okay, so it's like shady, very shady. So I want to know, and so this person who lives in this area, I guess in California, wants to know because her concern, and I think it's a very valid concern, is that if they have gone in the voter databases and changed things, can they go change the results so that they create this California secession? Okay, so what's going to happen? It's like what is Putin's interest in this California secession thing, and what's going to happen? Will California, will he separate? Will he succeed in separating California? Okay. And guys, now I have like 5 different types of cards, so I realize I'm not gonna use all. Okay, this is the ones I'm gonna use. I'm gonna use the Vera Sibila, which is you've seen a lot. The new ones that I have. This is called Sibila Indovina. Okay, there's slightly different ones with different cards and some overlapping meanings, but many different ones. And I'm gonna use the Lenormand, just because Lenormand is very cut and dry. Okay, so since we want to know the result of a vote or something like that, I think the Lenormand is very useful. I was just going to do the Sibyllus, but then when I realized when I want something official, Lenormand is really great because it gives you kind of a cut and dry. Because Lenormand is not really it's not open for interpretation. Okay, in the sense of like, for example, Lenormand, when you look at this, it's like, oh, a beach, and you can't be like, Oh, I think you're gonna spend the summer at a beach. Like, no, it's like this is not tarot, okay? And by the way, a lot of people say, oh, tarot, like you do tarot. This tarot is only one system. It's essentially about cartomancy, I guess, right? It's just different card systems. Tarot does not is not the word that it's not doesn't the systems that I'm using are totally, but well, they're related because they're cards, but they're not the tarot at all. Okay, so they're different. Anyway, so that's that. So the question I'm going to ask is, what is going to happen with this plan? What is Putin's interest? Part one. What is Putin's interest in goal in this California secession, and what will be the outcome? When it's up for voting, what's going to be the result? Okay, and will they, will the elections be hacked in some way? Those like the elections for the California vote. Okay, I'm just trying to think here the structure that I'm going to use. This I'm going to use because I realize like this question has several different parts. I think I'm going to. That's what I'm going to do. I think I am going to just do, yeah, separate them. Okay, quickly. Not too many cards, but still. Okay, so tell me, what is Putin's interest with this California secession thing called Calexit, and what will be the outcome of these elections? Okay, so I think it will be interesting to see. Okay, I think it will be very interesting to see here, and to ask separately, what is his interest here? Okay, what is the deal with his? I think to me, I think I know the answer because of the whole tech thing and the fact that Silicon Valley is very powerful, and if he can manipulate Silicon Valley, then he gets a lot of power. But I think, but this is what we want. Okay, guys. So what is the? Is Mueller gonna? So tell me about Putin's interest in this whole Calexit vote thing, and will Mueller find out something? What's going to happen? Just in terms of the Mueller investigation. Okay, this is what we're looking at here, the whole Russia meddling thing, and then the next I want to do a separate, get more cards just to understand what's going to happen as a result of this ballot. Is it going to be a ballot? I think that's what it is. Okay, and right. I'm going to lower this down. So what I'm going to do is, it's just 3. Okay. I'm trying to think here. Okay, so let's just C5. Yeah, let's do line of 5. Okay, so center. Guys, very interesting look. Shady Baby. This ending like this, guys, this is a Spavento, and I took more notes on this. Anyway, I went back, studied this, these cards a bit more, took more notes on the cards themselves and everything. And this is a very permanent ending, guys. So news of Trump's permanent ending. And it's weird because I feel like the question I asked was, what is his interest in Calexit? But it told me something else. Okay, so now let's go here. Okay, let me just pull out the cards and then we'll talk about the meeting here. Trap. Love note, you can call it that. Ritardo, meaning delay. And here we have reconciliation. And then we have a heart, money or many people, loyalists, recognition or something was recognized. Okay, so one more here just to make sure. Opportunity, okay. Opportunity for the snakes. Okay, just because I saw this, guys, this is a card of usually professional recognition, but you could almost see it. At the very basic, it means recognition of something, recognition of an opportunity for the snakes, for the fake, something fake, okay? So this makes sense. Now here, can you see all of it? No, you can see this. So, very interesting, guys. You know, it's one of those instances, guys, where I'm like, whoa. It's like I asked one thing, but the cards told me another, or they're telling, like, the center is always the most important, right? So, like I said, Trump, right? The Shady Baby. And I remember what I wrote. Ostacoli insormontabili. It means unsurmountable obstacles and permanent ending, like an ending that there's no turning back. And this becomes news. So it's saying either that Putin knows that Trump is ending. I don't see how Calexit is related to the ending of Trump. You know what I mean? It's like this was in place before. Okay, so now this is super interesting, guys, because okay, you know, I think I'm gonna have to lower this so you can see it. Yeah, before. Okay, look. So the first here is like, I think, the context and developments. Okay, so here we have avoiding prison. Okay, and again, this is a card that's very similar to well, the meaning is quite different, but the image is similar. It's a person, this person, the prigione here, I think it could mean actual prison, and this means distraction and lack of focus. So, and this is values, okay? So it's like he's using values to, this is like trying to avoid, okay, 1 second here. This is militare, that means an attack. Okay, usually if you think of, I've said this before about this card, it's like, this is a castle, like right here. And this is a military, essentially a soldier, a foreign soldier going right towards the castle. So it's kind of like, you know, an invasion, guys, really. And this is a card usually, you know, it's good news. And this upside down, it means the news is not arriving is one they wanted. Could also mean votes because it's a piece of paper. It's not that this meaning is not indicated in the cards themselves, but there's a connection. There says money, okay? Okay, and then we have here news, again, a card of news, message. And this is interesting because it's this is a card of delay. And so when the delay happens like this, it means that it's like useless. It's like things end up, a delay is called, but then nothing really happens. And this is good people, could also mean loyalists, okay? Depending on the context. And here is interesting because this is a card of sospiri, means longing, like daydreaming. And that this one next to it means that there's no resolution, okay? That allontanamento means distant, like permanent distancing, okay? So I think, okay, I'll show you. And then, like I said, this is recognized, okay? So, okay, now, what I think this means is that he wanted to create, this is like you want to create something, right? When it's upside down, it changes the meaning a little bit. So he wanted to create a situation where he could trap people, okay? Create an illusion through values, because heart is values, okay? And then here we have an attack on, you know, through messages. It could also mean, guys, social media messaging, because this is written. Written could be social media, could be code, right? If you contextualize it to our times. And there's money invested in this. There's money invested in values, okay? So again, attack so that you could create a bondage. If you think about it right, in almost like a biblical sense. And then at the center of it all, though, there's a permanent ending of Trump. The news that Trump is over, okay? Again, the idea of news, which is all like this. These two cards are very similar, okay? Different. This is Vera Sibilla, this is La Lenormand. And this, okay. And then we have here, like I said, the delay that the news that there's gonna be a delay because of the, I think in this context I'm beginning to think it's the good people. Okay. And then this was the news of what, of a longing. It becomes known that this was a kind of like a, you know, waste of time essentially, and that there's no reconciliation. Okay, that the whole thing just, it's like it was blocked. Okay, so the little delay here ends up being blocked, and there's recognition of what was happening here. And I pulled more cards to connect here, so that means opportunity for the snakes, so that they understand. So what I understand here, guys, is that he wanted indeed to attack the votes or send messages, okay, to attack the voters, to create a situation of I think almost like mental bondage, you know what I mean? Because it's like, if you think about what is the message and think of the root of the word, messaging, right? So they trap the voters through messaging, which could mean social media, okay? And so they're invested in this whole thing with values, except that the ending of Trump happens, and the good people recognize what this is all about. So there's a delay of a vote, almost like this whole situation is delayed, whatever plan they had, and the delay is permanent. Okay, so there's no, this is not going to happen. And why do I think this is not going to happen? Because this is not about, I guess it's not about it's about this whole, what is this, interest, right? His goal is to create this entrapment, to change the votes. It doesn't happen. Because there's the ending here of Trump also implies that it's his ending. Okay, at the ending. And if you look at the cards here, like, okay, the context, card by card here, okay, so it goes like this, right? So it's the trap, okay, wanting to create a distraction through negative messaging, but there's an ending here, and an ending creates, this ending of Trump creates a delay that becomes permanent, and there's no solution. There's like here distancing and the recognition of what this really was all about. Okay, so the reason, like I said, I don't think their death relates to to change of the cut in anything related to California. It just means that Trump is the guy, the person who that ends here. And like I said, I was going to do a reading on, so I'm going to close my eyes because I feel like this is so clear that I don't think it's necessary to do this thing. Okay, I'm going to close my eyes now. Okay, so tell me what is the deal here? What he wanted with the Calexit, what ends up happening? Okay, so it's showing like that Putin is actually, he's a kind of like a mathematician type person. Okay, he's very cold, he's very analytical. He's like, oh, if we can remove California, I can take the California technology and I can, make the country majority Republican in some way so that Trump could always, could win, and I could trap the valuable resources, intellectual property resources, and just take them because then they'll be undermining whatever. So this is like how he thinks. He's like, oh, almost like a game. Like, oh, I'm going to cut off, little parts of a piece of paper. I'm going to put it together. Like, whatever. So, okay, so for him, it's almost like he's showing that he does this also as a game. Like, he takes risks, Putin, and he's like, sees it as a game. He's going to try to go as far as he can. Does he know? What is the deal? Tell me why this thing with Trump came up in the center of the reading. It's not really with the question that I asked. Well, we showed you his goal. Okay, the goal, like I said, was to separate the intellectual property and to separate the quote-unquote progressive America, so that the fascism could take over in the center of the country, and then sort of physically trap in terms of the land, the people who have, the progressive America. Okay, so that he's trying. Okay, yes, he's trying to push a lot of messaging, social media. Yes, is Mueller watching the social media channels? Is Mueller looking at Facebook, what's happening? Yes, Mueller is very aware. Mueller is like, it's showing me again, guys, the message I saw before. Mueller in like the security room, right? Looking at all the cameras and all the different things that are happening. At the same time, he's watching this happen. He's watching the messaging. he's almost letting it kind of like he wants to watch where it comes from, what the patterns are, because he's gonna, oh, this is gonna be, what is it called? When you're watching these crime shows, they caught, they have to catch the I remember I watched this documentary on Robert Hansen, the guy from, I think it was the FBI. He was an agent, and he's in ADX Florence right now. He was caught in the act. Okay, they had to in Portuguese they say in flagrante. Okay, so as the person, they caught him while he was picking up he was dropping off materials for the Russians, or he was picking up one. I forgot which one it was. So he was arrested right then. So that's what I'm thinking they're doing now. It's like they're going to let these people, okay, go ahead with whatever. And I think it's like I'm getting here the messaging, the Americans who are like pushing the messaging that he wants to see. Because in a way, like what he's seeing now, it's like what the Mueller investigation is working with now is like the past, right? What happened, and then so now they're seeing it live. So they're not actually they're pretending like nothing is happening, but they're watching it very carefully, and they're understanding. They're looking at the money patterns, the people. Like I said, all the people who are pushing this are being watched. Is he watching the people in Silicon, the powerful? Yes, yes. Oh, guys, it's showing me like I believe some of you might be under surveillance of some sort because they're so arrogant. Okay, but why? These people are very clever tech-wise. How can Mueller get their info? Like how does he know to get? It's like, well, there's laws. Okay, like nobody's above the law essentially. Okay, so maybe there's warrants. I don't know exactly what. So. It's like, oh, it's showing here, like there's going to be eventually something. Oh, so and so engaging in a campaign of influence. The word is campaign of influence. Okay, so then either Trump leaves before, because what it shows here, guys, is that Trump leaves right in the middle, and that there's delay. I don't know exactly when this whole thing was supposed to happen, but I don't think it happens. Even the vote itself. Okay, I feel like the whole thing is delayed because Trump leaves and there's this discovery of this. Okay, so does the actual voting happen? I think it does. I think it does, guys. I think it does for that reason. Okay, I don't know what is it. Yeah, for that reason, because they're watching. Okay, they don't want to suspend anything, obviously, until there is real evidence of the whole thing, the whole conspiracy, but they're watching how the Trumpians. And like I said, some of the people who live in this area are trying to legitimize it as a truly California thing, but it's not, okay? Okay. So what is the outcome? Does the Silicon Valley separate? No. Does it? No. Does it separate from California? No. Why not? Well, because it's saying that they benefit, these companies benefit from American laws. They don't want to go into some lawless kind of country. Because it's saying they need audiences, okay? So if they were saying here, if they work for an enemy, okay, and then they decide to become their own country or whatever, and other country is going to attack regular America, they're going to have, they're going to be. It's not going to work for them, okay, on a basic level. It's just a means to create more chaos, okay? That's what they want. So will these people in the tech world who support this, are they going to pay some way? Are they going to face consequences? Yes. Campaign of influence? Accepting stolen? I feel like, yeah, they'll be charged with something. I don't know exactly, okay? And as you guys know, I'm kind of a little bit obsessed about Peter Thiel. Sort of like, I get the sense that they're kind of using their access. I was showing here some of these companies. I don't know if it's like the whole thing that I'm thinking more of Peter Thiel, but like these companies that have access, they have American government contracts, and yet at the same time they're using their connection to all these defense, all this contracts and all this stuff they have, and still working with an enemy. That's a problem, right? I think it's showing in some way there's a problem. Okay, what else? Yeah, I think they are unmasked, okay, and it's showing me, like there's the shock when the whole thing comes out, okay, because those people were able to, even like in the tech world, I think even Julian Assange he's seen kind of like as a good person and stuff like that. So it's almost like it went from, you know, deification to criminalization, okay, quickly. So, okay, so let's just meet. I think, you know, I feel it's very clear to me here. So, okay, so does this vote happen? You know, does the voting happen, and what, you know, will California become, will they succeed in separating California? Okay. Oh, look, the Lenormand, end of a guilty man. So, no, I think, like I said, guys, you know, oh my God, look, let's compare. Oh my God, look. I pulled just the Lenormands. Let me show you here. What was the other ones here? Duh. Yeah, let's see. What was it? The baby, the end, and what was the card below? News. Okay, so look, it's very similar actually. The, you know, the cards that were before, an ending again, the death again of a man, of the baby. So it's showing again, guys. Look, look. The end of guilty, painful ending of the man here. Okay. Oh wow, look. Yeah, this is a, there's a tax. So the law takes up, I think essentially the law finds, creates an ending, okay. Ending of money, shows the guilty money, okay. And that the man was working as a soldier for them. Is that right? Okay, deal. Okay. Love, this again, the values. Showed was a fake friend. Okay, so I think essentially there was this deal in place. More about the love. Oh look, oh my God, look again, guys, death. Oh, it looks great. It was really very positive. It's gonna work out well. Well, let me tell you, the cards look great for your. You have a project. Oh, it looks beautiful. I think it's gonna work out so well. Look at the cards. It's great. No, it's not. So guys, yeah, the man here is posed as a fake friend and attacked us. Okay, so that's what happens. I don't think, guys, because like I said, I think there is the law here upside down. I think the law creates an ending because it uncovers the deal and it uncovers the connection. Almost like this, you know, there's a wedding with love, meaning there's a real connection here. Okay, but the money is guilty and the man is guilty of attacking while pretending to be a friend. So I think this tells us everything we need to know, right? Again, it's kind of interesting because it's saying the same thing that I was saying before, that I think the whole thing is stopped. Well, you know, I don't understand because I did see, why did I see that it was like, I think they're gonna, yeah, I don't know, guys, is this gonna happen? Is it gonna happen? Yeah, it's showing me that the whole thing ends. Or even if, you know, this whatever happens with this voting, it's gonna be canceled. It's just like definitely an ending here related to the guilt of the man who turns out to be a spot, you know, a fake friend or like a person who's pretending to be somebody he's not. So very interesting. Okay, I'm gonna stop here because I feel like I have the answers, guys. Okay, all right, bye.